And we're off.
It's up there.
I don't see no comments. Where?
I'm seeing the timer go off.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Now I see it. I don't know I don't know who this is. Hello. I see Minister Moore. I think this is Prophetess Felicia because it says Facebook user. It's not going to show your name unless you specifically um give it permission. So it should be something up there that says you give permission for your name to be used. So I don't know who it is this um commenting, but hello. I do see Minister Moore. He must have gave permission. I do see Felicia because I'm also watching from. I see tomorrow. I see Jewel. I see Lily, but I don't see your names over this side. So I think it says something about you give live StreamYard permission to use your face or your name. Just
Mm-hmm.
say yes, and you can come on. But hello to everyone. So if I don't call your name, that is the only reason why. Hello, 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 hello. You all coming in. We're gonna give it a few more minutes before we get started. Getting hot already. Ooh. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I see my daughter Lulu. Good evening, daughter Lulu. I can see her. You all, if it's something that say give permission, click on that. I see. I'm looking for my phone now. I can see Prophetess Jackson. Okay, good. Good evening, son. Apostle Tommy. Good evening. Good evening. It's good to see you all up here joining us this evening for another segment of Cocoa and Convos with Dr. Serena. Gonna get started. We're just waiting about 2 more minutes. If you haven't already, invite, share, let them know that Cocoa and Convos are on. We are on Facebook Live and we are also on YouTube Live. So welcome. Oh yes, let me get my cup. She just minded. Cocoa and Convos with Dr. Serena. Y'all pray for me. I'm a little under the weather, but God is able. Amen. Amen. God is able. Amen. And I'm believing Him for my healing. Amen. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening.
For
Starting.
our healing.
Oh, our healing. I think it's the season. Everyone's allergies are just going haywire, and throat. Oh, we're not giving the devil no glory. We thank God for our healing. I'm excited about tonight's segment. What we're going to share about on tonight. I'm excited, and I hope you are excited too. Just bear with us, hang in there with us as we navigate through tonight's show. Good evening, Felicia Sharon, my honey bunch. Amen. She's gonna be our guest next week, y'all. Baby, y'all better have y'all seatbelts on and ready. I gotta sip some cocoa about that one. I have to have plenty of cocoa with that one, honey. Yes. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started in our show. Welcome, 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 welcome to Cocoa and Combos with Dr. Serena. Yay! This is um episode 2 We had our launch last week. We had Prophetess Jewel Jones, my one of my mentee, and she, baby, she really enlightened us on some things last week, and we thank her. Amen. She's going to be back co-hosting sometime. Amen. She is a fan favorite. I have plenty of good reviews, a fan favorite. And so on tonight, amen, we are going to continue with the same momentum, and we are going to go ahead and tell you. And you saw the title. It said when the doctors give you up. We have a special guest on tonight. She is not only my sister in the Lord, but she's also my blood sister, the only blood sister that I have. And believe it or not, she's the youngest. I know I look like it.
Nah, baby.
However, she is the youngest, and she has a story of her journey that she's going to share with us on tonight, that will give you hope, and to some people bring them peace. Hello, Chief Apostle Dr. Alethea Abraham. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us on tonight. And so I'm going to go ahead without further ado, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Nadine, and then I'm going to let her loose, because I want, nobody can tell your story like you can. The other people can, say this and say that, but nobody knows your story like you do. Why? Because you lived it, you experienced it. And so she has a story that she experienced that she's going to bring forth on tonight for others to hear, and hopefully to be encouraged by. And so her name is Dr. Nadine Owens. She's the CEO of Our Brother's Keeper. She has a nonprofit. She's a wife. She's a mother of five. She's a caregiver, a parent advocate of more than 20 years. She have adult sons with different abilities. Um, she knows firsthand about the challenges and struggles and the emotional roller coaster that goes in hand with pouring out so much. This is also the month of April is also, I'm just interjecting here, also the month of National Autism Month. And Nadine is the mother of three sons with autism. I tell you, she has a story for you on tonight. And Nadine is a certified life coach. She's a financial advisor. She's an administrator. She's a six-time best-selling author. She is an emotional intelligence coach, a motivational speaker, environmental health advocate. She also the owner of Our Brothers Keeper Academy. It focuses on environmental health, moving and grooving with OBK, where she got the kids out there even dancing, exercising, getting, spreading healthiness. I told her I was gonna try to hang with them one day. Oof. Y'all pray for me. And she consults with women, she consults with men and people with different abilities. She has a feeding program that she feeds as many people as possible. She educates parents, um, and the youth on how to handle stress in a healthy manner. She has helped me a lot. You all know I have, I think it's a total of 15 kids, plus we raised the niece 16, and we have like 33 grandchildren total. I need a stress reliever. And she has been one of the people who were pivotal in my life with helping me manage stress. Not so much as what she said, but what she does. She didn't even know that I was watching her and her patience, and it taught me how to calm down. And so she believes in biblical principles which shaped and formed her into the woman she is today. She has a passion to see everyone become the best version of themselves. She volunteers her services to fight for insurance, equal rights, equal pay, and quality care for health insurance. She believes in growing yourself. She holds a wealth of knowledge and wisdom when it comes to various areas of independence, self care, and dignity. Nadine's desire is to spread the importance of loving yourself to the fullest. And so I've said enough, and I want her to talk. I want her to have ample amount of time. I remember when she was a usher at UCH number 2, and she better spoke. Yes, yes, sis, yes. And look at her now. Won't God do it? I remember that. Won't God do it? I tell you, I tell
Oh
you.
gosh.
And so, not only is she a speaker, but she speaks with substance. And I'm just saying, I learned, not to downgrade anybody. I learned not to insult anybody. God will teach you some things on, if you keep living mature. And so what I can say, I'm talking about her. I'm not talking about nobody else or putting nobody. This is not a dig at nobody else, but she speaks with substance. And the first time, as um Apostle just stated, she used to be quiet. So the first time I went to hear her speak, everyone that knows me knows that I cried to drop over hat. So she's in there speaking to this room of people, and I'm crying, and I'm saying, God, please, I feel the tears coming. God, please. I had to excuse myself and go to the bathroom because she was, quiet. She wasn't the type. I always, had a big mouth. That's always been me, but it wasn't so in her case. And so, just hear her speak and to speak so eloquently and speak so phenomenally. I don't even know that's a word, but y'all know I make up words. It just really did my heart glad. So, I love to hear her speak. She's a woman of wisdom as well, and I thank God for her. And on tonight, she wants to tell a story that a lot of people don't know about her. That this may be her. I don't know if this is her first time sharing it or not, but um, I'm gonna let her talk about. We're gonna go back a little bit because sometimes we see people now, but you don't know their when. Mm. You see their now, but you don't know their when. And there a lot of times the when, well, most of the time the when shapes the now. And so we want to talk about her when. We're gonna go back um to when she was a young girl, 9 years old, and what happened um during that time frame in her life that led up to her now. I present to some and introduce to others, Dr. Nadine Owens.
First of all, thank you for having me, Dr. Harris. And yes, when you asked me to talk about the topic, I haven't talked about it a lot, but I do remember, and sometimes it's painful just to go back and remember everything that took place. But I cry because I just thank God I'm alive.
Yes,
And
yes.
I can remember the day that I was going to I was it was tumbling practice.
Mhm.
We had tumbling practice, and we did anything to get out of the house, didn't we?
We
I don't
did.
care if they said, look, pick cotton. I don't care. Look, we do anything to get out the house. All right.
Yeah.
We got to run in the back. You got whatever we had to do. But that was kind of fun for me. But we had to walk. See, back then, the buses, now they know goodness well, far as we live, we should have been catching the bus.
Mhm.
But they made us walk.
We lived in the
And
hood,
is that why the bus ain't come there?
probably. Go ahead.
Okay, that's all right. So that's kind of an excuse for them. But nevertheless, I'm glad they got it together. But as I was crossing the street, I vaguely remember what happened. But I had to get you had to tell me the story because you was there, you saw everything. But I couldn't remember nothing. The only thing I remember is trying to go across the street, trying to get home.
So, do you want me to take you from there to the hospital part?
Well, you can
Or,
say exactly. I mean, I went off what you said, and two
mm-hmm,
other witnesses that was out there, right? I
mm-hmm.
can't remember nothing. So when they say if you get in an accident, you don't remember. Maybe that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a good thing. But what you said was I crossed the street. I crossed the street, and you say I stood in the middle of the road. But that don't sound like me because I'm not gonna stand in front of no car. So I don't know
You
What
stood
came
because
over
we
me?
called. No, we called your name because a car was coming, and you stopped. We called your name, and you stopped when we called your name. And
Hmm.
the car tried to stop, but he slid. Is what happened.
So the car slid,
Mhm.
and he was speeding. So that
Mhm.
means that he slid right to me,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I flew up in the air,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
far, and I came down, I bang, hit the concrete.
Yes. Mhm.
I can't remember nothing from there. Um,
Yeah.
the only thing that I can remember is being in the hospital, waking up in the hospital, waking up from a coma,
Mhm.
waking up to doctors and nurses around me 24 hours. But I do recall when I was in a coma, my mother, bless her soul, she said that the doctors gave up on me, and the doctor said with the sustainable injury that I suffered, nobody comes out of it.
Mhm.
Um, I
Their
know
exact
that.
words were, "There was a 50% chance you would live. There was a 50% chance you would die." They said there's nothing else they can do for you as you laid in a coma. Go ahead.
But in the meantime, I was somewhere that I didn't even know where I was at until I started explaining it and telling it to people. But when I was in a coma, I was in the clouds. I was playing with kids. We was playing Ring Around the Rosie, and I saw this man with a white robe. Now, mind you, we wasn't brought up in church,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I didn't know who Jesus was, but
Mhm.
I had an encounter with Jesus. So the place was so pretty. It was like I really liked where I was at, and I can't remember coming in and out. So if somebody would call my name, I do vaguely remember opening my eyes, but then going back into the coma. Um, so this is what happened.
It's all right. You gonna get this
um,
story out. Go ahead.
so I remember. Well, my mother told me that she used to come, just lay at my bedside. Nothing. I would give them nothing. No eye opening. But I do remember opening my eyes one time. I do recall that. Maybe she wasn't there. Um, and this particular day she was coming to see me, and I wasn't getting no better. And she said it was two doctors that worked on me. One told her that, there's nothing we can do. The other one was like, she's a fighter. Seeing this doctor don't know me, she's a fighter. And my mother said she had to use the restroom. So she was just crying uncontrollably in the restroom. And she said she heard a voice that says, Jesus saves. And she looked up and she stopped wiping her eyes. She started wiping her eyes. She walked out of the bathroom, and she said it was a big commotion. She said so many people were just running, running. And she was like, oh my gosh, they was running to my room. But when she got there, I was up. First thing I asked for, y'all, was some polished chicken. Let me tell y'all something. Let me go back. I love me some chicken. Let me tell you something. Chicken brought me out of I don't know, somebody put it under my nose. I don't know. I don't know. It could have been Dr. Harris. I don't know. Right? They was like, we're gonna get her out of this coma. We're gonna let her sniff some chicken. Whatever happened, I came out. I asked for chicken. They said, look, we'll give you anything you want. Anything you want. So I was talking and everything. And um back then, when you're in intensive care, you cannot have no visitors, only family, and two at a time. So my mother used to sneak her best friend in named Liz, and she told everybody that was my aunt. So they was like, look who's here. Who is that? I said, well, that's my mother and her best friend. And they look, and she said she didn't even care. She was just so happy that I was awakened, I was alive, I was vibrant, but I still had to go through a journey, y'all. They told my mother that I would have seizures the rest of my life. I couldn't walk. So it took me a year to learn how to walk. I talk like a baby. I
Mhm.
couldn't write,
Mhm.
and that was a very hard year for me. I got homeschooled, and yeah, I got through it though. I got through it. And I praise God for that. And I know that He saved my life for a reason. He saved my
Mhm.
life for a reason. It was work for me to do. So, I get very emotional because I hear the stories of people getting hit. I mean, not even the extent of flying up in the air and coming down. And did I mention I didn't have one broken bone? Now you mean to tell me the way that they say I went up in the air,
Up.
bang,
Yes.
bang.
Yes.
I should have had broken bones all over my body. I didn't.
Mhm.
They said
Mhm.
they couldn't explain that.
Mhm.
But I did have a long journey of coming back to recovery and everything. But I thank God that I made it through. I made it through. And I can say I didn't have no seizures. I never had a seizure.
Mm-mm.
And I just kept right on keeping on and doing what I had to do. And as time went on, um, I can say from there my life really wasn't easy. I had questions. Um, okay, what's next for me, God? What's next for me? And a lot of time when things happen to you, you have a setback. I still suffered for many years. My leg with leg pain. But I overcame that. And I had physical therapy. I had all types of therapy or what so. But still, after a few years after that, I still had problems with my legs. But everything, got back aligned, and I just thank God.
And so, as you got older, you started having kids,
Mhm.
and what happened? Because again, we know God kept you here for a reason,
Yeah.
and God knows what we all can handle. And so, with you, when you started having kids, God bless you. You never had a seizure, even though the doctor said you would. Never. God bless you. He kept you. Then you had your first child, which was a girl, and
Hmm.
everything was fine. And then tell us what happened when you had your second. Is it the second and the
Hmm. Hmm.
third
It
and
was it was
okay?
the second. So the second pregnancy was
Mm.
to me it was a healthy pregnancy. I mean, I went to full term. I had them. Everything looked it fine. Everything looked perfect. But guess what? When you have a child and they suffer some type of illness or whatever they may have, you can't tell when they're born. I mean, certain things they do give blood tests for, and they can tell you, okay, well, your child is diagnosed with this, and they can tell when they're born. But with any type of development disability, you cannot tell until um, months on, and they not meeting the milestones. So with my son, he was different from my daughter. My daughter was perfect. She was a perfect little angel. Nobody better not talk about my baby now. Perfect little angel. Okay. So he was different, and of course, they say that boys are different than girls. He never slept. That was one of the symptoms. He never slept, and I'm like, okay. I know the baby got to sleep sometimes, but he never slept. I can say 10 minutes, and he was up 10 minutes, and I'm like, this is not normal. That was the first sign. Of course, nobody's going to do anything when you say, okay, my baby not sleeping or what's all right. And they'll say, give it time. And see, and that's the problem. Everybody wants to say, give it time. But sometimes we don't have time. We need to act fast. But anyway, that was one of the signs. As he got older, he was very fidgety, hyperactive. 5 months, 6 months, used to pick up stuff. I mean, I know babies are active, I get it, but he was overly active. I'm like, hold on. And then he said he walked early. He walked at 6 months. So I
Mm.
was like, whoa. I turned around, he was standing on the table at 6 months. Nobody would believe me. I had to actually film him doing that. Look, so in some areas he was advanced, so his body was much advanced than his mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I still gave it a little bit of time. I started comparing him to other boys and asking questions, and their milestones. They were doing more than him. I knew something was going on. I just was trying to give it. I was trying to give it time. Hopefully that he would catch up. But I ended up taking him to the doctor at the age of, and it took time back then because when you call, it took like 2 to 3 months before you can even be seen. If that, because they would call you and say, "Oh, we're going to have to reschedule your appointment." But anyway, I took him to a doctor, and I'm quite sure everybody knew him, and that's why they was calling and they was canceling appointments and getting other people in. But when I did get to see him, I told him my concerns. I said he don't sleep. I said he won't sit down for nothing. I have to fight him to eat. As a matter of fact, I have to feed him standing up. I said he will never sit down. So as I was going on and on talking to him about that, he told me that I think he watched too much TV. So at that time, I'm looking around. Am I being punked? Because I told him he can't sit still. So why would you come out your mouth, sir, and say he watched too much TV? He don't even watch TV. He won't sit down. So being me, I smiled. I said, thank you. I never went back. And I went in, I found him a doctor at CHKD. Within a month, he went there. And as soon as he walked in, the first thing she said was, he has autism. Now, this is before the age of 2. Excuse me. See, she worked at the developmental, across the street from the developmental building at CHKD. So she said, I see a lot of young people like him. Hearing that diagnosed autism, I knew about autism. I didn't suspect he had autism. I was hoping it was something else. But of course, hearing a diagnosis, I was happy and sad at the same time. I was happy he was diagnosed. I was sad because this is a lifelong disability. And of course, the doctors give up on you, just like they gave up on me. I was told that he will be in a home. He wouldn't do A, B, C, D, E. He wouldn't do the things that he's doing now. But I was determined. See, that's what it is. Just having a mother who don't take no for an answer, being determined and knowing that it's another way, trusting and believing in the process of God. So from there, I started physical therapy. I started he had physical therapy, he had speech therapy, and it was a lot of therapy, and of course, so much that it kind of like broke me down. My other son, he pretty much had the pretty much some of the same.
Okay, so excuse me. So after the second pregnancy, you had a third pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
That was another son as well,
Yeah.
or was
Mm-hmm.
you? So you
Yeah.
had a
Mm-hmm.
okay. So what
So
happened with
with
that?
him, I mean, he slept, but it was concerning. He slept. As he got older, he had some of the same characteristics as his brother. I wasn't so much concerned because I was like, he's sleeping. Okay, he's sleeping. That's what I was looking at. He's sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
But then he still had some of I call what they call quirky quote unquote type of behaviors. Like he would
Yeah.
want to get in the oven. I'm like, well, what child want to get in the oven?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, see stuff
Yeah.
like that. He want to play danger, right? He want to open up the
Yeah.
wash machine and stuff. Well. He was shorter, but he would bang on the washing
Mm-hmm.
machine. Okay, because of the sound. And then it's like when you open it up, he got something out of it because it's sensory. It was a lot of sensory
Mm-hmm.
going on. I learned that later on. But anyway, I did have him. It was concerning. Um, I had him tested, and they also said that he had autism. So therefore, I was really, really in a depressing state. Wow, what I'm gonna do? What the future be with these boys?
Yeah.
We only can. I showed us, but so be it, right? I
Yeah.
can't handle a lot, and then mainly stress. But I did what I had to do because my prayer was, God, allow me to keep my sons at home. Was it easy? No. Did he do it? Yes. So I kept them at home. I did what I had to do, but of course, it took a toll on me. It took a toll on me so much that I ended up having a breakdown myself.
So by this
Break.
time, when the breakdown occurred, did you have how many children? You had the third son with autism by then.
No, 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 no. So it was Brianna. So I had four when I had the and it was the girl. Um
Hmm.
and yeah, so with her, everything was normal, developmentally delayed and everything. Yeah, was on point. I made sure that except for she wouldn't talk. And sometimes kids, being around other
Yeah.
kids that don't talk, they'll pick it up. They'll pick it up
Yeah.
that my mom is catering to him because he's not talking. That means I'm going to do the same thing so I can get some attention. And for the longest, she wouldn't talk to nobody. She would talk to me with
Yeah.
little words. But she wouldn't talk to nobody else. And I asked her to this day, why you never talk? She said, because I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I didn't want to. I said, well, you
You
shouldn't have
never
did
talked to
that.
me.
You could have saved me some
Yeah.
time. Yeah. So it was after her when I had the breakdown. And it was just so overwhelming with everything that I had to do pretty much by myself. By myself. But God was with me. God was with me, you know. But yeah, so then I had my fifth child. I thought I was done with my fourth because I said this is a little bit too much because
Mhm.
of everything that they needed. So when I got pregnant, it was very shocking and a lot of stuff was going through my mind. Um, I didn't even want them, you know. But
Mhm.
then I said, everything came back to me that God is not going to give you more than you can bear. So I was like, okay. So as time went on with my last son, everything was normal. Talk, slept, um, laugh, encounter with everybody. So he didn't turn away. He didn't kind of look up. It was none of that. But I used to have a lot of people come to my home to work with the boys, different agencies. And one lady said, hmm, to be on the safe side, how's your son? I said, he's good. And she said, you don't want, you haven't thought about getting them tested. I got mad at her. How about say, ma'am, get out my house. I'm going through enough. So you mean to tell me I don't have no concerns, but what she said bothered me. And I was like, well, maybe I could get them tested just to be on the safe side. But when I got them tested, the only thing that they said was the speech delayed and
Mhm.
what she talked. Well, of course, they want you to be saying, let me say at one, how many they said about 50 words?
Yes. Yes.
They want
They
you to be like
do.
50 words, but nevertheless, I
Mhm.
just wanted what's best for them. As time went on, um, a lot of time on the computer. The computer pretty much messed up my son and everything. A lot of demonic stuff comes through the computer. I homeschool, and of course, I had to sleep. Got to sleep sometime. But of course, I didn't know that he would be on the computer doing some things, watching some things that actually messed him up mentally. That I mean, he loved the Lord. That was one thing I can say about him. He was telling me, don't talk about God and all this. So we went through a lot. We went through a lot. But I just thank God and fast forwarding on that today, yeah, everybody's doing good. Everybody's doing good, and including myself, and with Marcus, he he's thriving. He's thriving. Now Marcus is Marcus. It's okay. It's okay. Marcus gonna steal your food. All he wants is some Cheetos. All he wants some Cheetos. With many times that at Chuck E. Cheese, I thought I was gonna have to throw some hands. Because Marcus go there and steal them people pizza. And they came for my son. Hold on, player. I had to get in between. I buy you some more pizza. You better put that hand down. You better fix that face up, sir. Right? My son has a different ability. All right. I mean, he was pissed. With my son, I get it. I got it. Calm down. Calm down. I get you 2 pizzas. How about that? So it was plenty of times that you know what he'll do or what so. And then I had to learn how to be able to, advocate and talk for him.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't get, the bricks beat off him. Okay. Um, but he's doing good now. He's at the resource center. Um,
Can you tell
he
us about your resource center?
absolutely. So
Tell us
the
about
resource. Mhm, mhm,
what how was your, because you are an advocate
mhm.
and you own Our Brother's Keeper. How did Our Brother's Keeper come about? I know you had the three sons with autism. How is that what um prompted you to get this so that you could advocate for them? Because I've heard you say plenty of times, I'm their advocate. They can't talk, so I'm their, or they don't have I'm their voice. I heard you say that plenty of times, and so
Yeah.
that's what made you want to get into that field and be that voice and make sure that they were treated, people with different abilities were treated fairly and equally. You helped me a lot with my son, because I have a son with autism also, and you've helped me a lot with him and everything. So let's talk about your resource center, because I mean it's really a blessing to people that have children, or even adult children with different abilities. Because all your sons are grown now, they're adults now, and so they still attend your resource center and everything. Let's talk about how that was came about.
What came about, Postman, my brother's keeper. The name was taken. So my daughter came up with that name because of her brothers. And God told me 5 times to start a resource center. I let fear, intimidation, not knowing anybody, and money stop me. And the 6th time he used my daughter. Um, she never did t-shirts a day in her life, and she came to me and she said, "Mom, I want to do t-shirts." Now, mind you, she got a bachelor. She was going back the next week to get a master's. So I'm like, what made you want to do t-shirts? She said, "Well, it was given to me in a dream." I said, "Well, who told you in a dream?" And she said, "The Lord." I said, so I can't argue with that. The Lord gave, and she had everything written out. I mean, it was, I said, "You did all of this?" I mean, pages of stuff, pages. And I knew she was coming to me for money. So I turned around. God said, "That's her vision, not yours." So I turned back around. I said, I'm Team Tamara, but I got to make sure that we get some revenue. Time went on. Um, I was exercising. This was on a Thursday. Sunday, I was sitting there. God said, "Get a building." So I said, "Get a building." So I was like, I know he's talking about my daughter. So I called my daughter. I said, "Tamara, ma'am, you looking for a building?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Well, why haven't you told me?" And she said, "Well, you didn't give me a chance." I said, "Well, do you have any that you called?" Well, yes. I said, "Well, you need to call them now." She said, "On a Sunday?" I said, "Yes." You don't understand. And she said, "Okay, okay, I'm gonna call you back." I never heard from her again. Well, that day, I had to call her Monday, and I called her Monday morning. Tomorrow, yes. What happened to you calling me? "Oh, I'm sorry, people came over for a cookout." So I said, "Well, listen, this is not to be played with. You need to call." She was like, "Call him this early?" I said, "Call him, call him," because it was two, but one of them she really wanted to see. I said, "Call him." So when she called and she was like, "He's coming down here. Would you go with me?" I said, "Absolutely." So when we got there, um, the guy gave her the keys. Now he only knew her name. He gave her the keys, and she looked at me. I said, "Well, let's go look at the place." So we went inside. It was 2 sides. So I said, "Hold on. She can be on one side, and I can be on the other side." So that was the starters, and this will be 6 years for Our Brother's Keeper. And matter of factly, with everything, I like to, shout out and thank. Is she up here? Dr. Alethea Abraham, is she still up here?
I don't know. I don't see her.
Okay, for her, and trusting in Tamara, she gave her a big order. So she was her first customer, for her. And from there on, she just started thriving and and getting clients and everything else with that. But it wasn't easy with our brothers keeper having a nonprofit. But guess what? It was worth it. And sometimes it's a process and everything. So the process of where I'm at now, it's like, you know what? I'm just enjoying the ride because God is amazing. And everything is at his timing. His timing. So I mean, all the doors is opening. And today, what did I tell you, Dr. Harris? I said, I'm tired. What I say? I had 4 meetings. I said, I'm tired. That's what I said. I ran here, right? I said, I have to do this interview. And I said, I will never shortchange God, nor you. Anybody who asked me to do something to the best of my ability, I
Dr.
wouldn't
Abraham up here.
shortchange. Huh?
I said Dr. Abraham up here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I wouldn't shortchange anyone. So yes, our brothers keeper was it was for the boys, and now it's a place for them to come to learn, to grow, and to just have fun. Everything is about fun. Not only do I help people with different abilities, and I do work with them one-on-one, but I work with the youth, the elderly, and I work with women too, because women have a lot of issues and women suffer in silence. They're not gonna say nothing. You think men are hardcore. Now, don't get me wrong. Some women are just gonna cry, but then you got them strong women. I'm just saying like myself, because guess what? If I'm going through and you'll never know it, I'm gonna smile.
That's
Look,
true.
look, look. I could
That's
be
true.
hurting from head
That's
to toe. Guess what I'm
true.
gonna do? I'm gonna go pop a Tylenol. I'm gonna smile, go pop a Tylenol, and pray that it kick in 30 minutes. Right?
That's true.
I'm just
That
saying.
is true.
But
That
guess
is
what? We can't
true.
do everything alone. So
Yes.
I just ask God to surround me with some women that have your same heart, your mind, your goals, the same goals that I have going on. God, and I'm telling you, he's done it. He's done it. Yeah.
And I want to thank you, Dr. Nadine. She received her doctorate in humanitarianism in December 2022.
Hmm.
She's done a lot for the community. Um, she stays on the go. Whew, I can't get her for days sometimes. She stays
No
on the
way.
go. She stays in meeting. I'm gonna tell the truth. Let me tell the truth for people. And can't get her. Sometimes she's in meetings and all the time. And but I do thank you, Dr. Nadine, for sharing your story, being transparent. It just let me know, which I already knew anyway, but I'm quite sure it let our viewers know that God has you here for a reason. It doesn't matter what you've been through in your beginning. It don't matter what the enemy tried to do. It didn't work. Um, he tried to take you out then, but God needed you here because He was going to bring, you know, uh, these three um, young men into your life, and He wanted you to be their mother. Because you would be patient and you would take your assignment seriously. And what people don't understand, everybody or just anybody cannot handle your assignment. You are the one God selected to be their parent, then you have to do your assignment. Anybody and everybody just can't do your assignment because your assignment is for you. And so even though you got frustrated, and I heard you say that you had a breakdown, but you had a breakdown, but God gave you a breakthrough. You know, even at your lowest, you had a breakdown in the natural, we human, but God gave you a breakthrough, and you are inspiration to others. You are um, a model for others. Again, I have a son with autism, and I just have one, and it gets difficult sometimes. Um, but I see you go through. I know you probably have your private moment. You're human, but one thing about you, you do not mumble, grumble, and complain. You do not. If something is wrong, unless I pick it up in the spirit, I wouldn't know. And sometimes I ask you, you good, or I text you or something like that. But other than that, you're right about that. You do not do share when you're going through. You still push and you still go to the best of your ability. And so I just thank God. I thank God that those doctors was wrong. Don't get me wrong. I love doctors. Doctors have a purpose here. Doctors treat. I know it's a cliche that we all say, but it's true anyhow. Doctors treat, but God heals. And we thank God for using the doctor said they did all they can do. They said there's
Mhm.
nothing else we can do. That's when the situation is just right for God. Mm. That's when it's just right for God. Man's extremities is God's opportunity. God is
Mm.
saying now, okay, you step out of the way. Now it's time for me to get in the way. And when those doctors gave our mother that report that there was nothing you can do, they wasn't expecting you to make a comeback. And then after that, that wasn't it. Oh, she's gonna have seizures for the rest of her life. She's not gonna be able to do X, Y, Z. And not one seizure, God spared you. I watched you go up in the air like a rag doll and fall from the ground, fall from it seemed like the sky because you went up so high and hit that concrete street that road in the middle of Chesapeake Boulevard where it happened in front of Norview Elementary School. And you hit that pavement and not one broken bone. And God gave you those three sons to be a mother and an advocate to them. So she does speaking engagements and she do health and she does health. She's a health advocate. She does so many things. But what we want to do now, we want to open up the floor for questions. If anybody have any questions, I can see now, y'all. I can see anybody have any questions that you want to say or any comments you want to share with Dr. Nadine. And I'm gonna have her give her um contact information as well. If anybody need her to come and speak at your event, or you just need some information from her, or you need her help in any capacity, you need advice. She could give you her contact information. She has a wealth of knowledge. I'm telling you, everything I needed, I called her. I always said I call her Boo. That's her childhood name, and I be like, I'm gonna call Boo. I just think Boo know everything. They say I know everything. No, Aunt Boo. Everybody call her Aunt Boo. Does. And so um I thank God for her. So if anybody have any questions, yes, Aunt Lily did. Aunt Lily's up here. She came and saw you every day in the hospital. Aunt Lily was working at
She
Norfolk
sure
General
did.
Hospital. She did. Amen. Aunt Lily was always there. Bless her heart.
She really was.
Thank you, Aunt Lily. You all right. Um, so did anybody have any questions? Carmen, we silly. Listen, we like to have fun on Coco and
That's
Combo. I'm
it. Let me tell
sorry.
you something.
That's what I do.
Can I say something right fast?
Laughter kept my mind. Hold on, let me say
Laughter
this.
kept me. What you talking
Laughter
about?
kept our mind. I'm telling you, when I was getting abused and beat up and towed down and guns held to my head, knives held to my throat, and punched in the face and dragged and raped and all of this stuff happened to me. God gave me laughter. He gave me that, and I still have it to this day. How can you let? That's the joy of the Lord,
That's
and
it.
that's
That's
what
it.
we. That's what, and I don't make no apologies for that because God gave us that to spread joy. This is what He gave me, and that's what we do. We laugh. You don't like to laugh? Don't come around me. I'm sorry. That's just me, because I'm gonna laugh. You
That's
know.
it. That's it. You go and sit down somewhere. Don't come around me
Right.
because
Go ahead.
I
You like to laugh.
look. I'm ready to bust out laughing now.
Oh, she
You
said, dear.
know,
Okay.
that's God.
Prophetess Lulu had a question. Dr. Nadine. She said, did your heavenly experience open the door to being a believer? Remember when you was in heaven and you was playing with
Yeah,
the kids
yeah.
in heaven? You saw you.
Mhm.
Did that open the door to you being a believer?
Yeah, I was kind of curious. So the first person, nobody was saved in our family, right? And they did in and everything they wanted to do. We was picking up on that stuff, but God kept us as kids because I followed the example. God put place, and I thank God for her. So Dr. Serena and myself, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit something. We didn't get along as kids. We always fussed and everything, right? But she still had a heart, a servant for God, because she used to walk to school. She used to tell me walk behind her, but it used to be this church. And everybody was just like saying stuff and cussing. And she'd be like, no, don't when we walk past the church, we're not gonna say that. So she's at the age, I believe like 12. She believed in giving honor, in the church, in front of the church on Sundays. certain things I watched her. As she got older, she was the first one that became saved. So things started making sense. So yes, I can say that through that experience and then watching her life. And sometimes, like you say, we live our life transparent. What you see is what you get. You never know who's watching you. A lot of people saying, "Oh, okay, with that person phone." You never know. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all will never see me like doing something that is not pleasing to God. You'll never see that. Never. Because he's been so good to me.
Love
And
you
one
too,
more thing
Dr.
I want to
Abraham.
say, ladies, listen. And if it's any mothers up here that has special needs kids, adults, or whatever, and you just need some help with your health, listen.
Hmm.
Detox. I'm ready to do detoxifying your mind and your body and your spirit. Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
Look.
I'm gonna do it too.
Y'all see
I'm
the
gonna
little
do it
juice
too.
right here? Listen. Nadine take care of herself. See, everybody say you doing this and doing that. See, at first, I want to ask for help because I was doing everything myself because a lot of people they wasn't real intentional of helping. They just want to be nosy. I felt look, I got paranoid. Y'all say they want to come in here so they can just tell people that I can't take care of my kids so they can get my kids taken away from me. And I had some people like that. So the trust issue was like, but that was a part of my breakdown too. I never asked for help. But what got me, y'all, I love Marvel. So I saw Spider-Man. When Spider-Man asked for help, that thing, I'm telling you, certain things we catch. And he was like,
Hmm.
look, Spider-Man, he saved the world. He got all that. But Spider-Man said, look, even I need help. I'm just saying, right?
All right.
So, I started asking for help, the right help. And then I wait on God to send the right help. Because everybody who said they help you, they lend their hand out. It's not the hand for you. Come on. I'm going to shut up. Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it is. But we thank God for you. We thank God for you sharing, you being transparent. Again, I've never heard you really share that part of your life. Everybody knows I'm a preacher, and when I preach, I have referenced your story. It depends on what the topic of my sermon is, and I have referenced your story. But it's nothing like when the person who lived the story, releases it. And I just thank God for that. Again, is that all the questions? Anybody else have any questions or comments? Again, if they want to get in touch with you, um, how can they get in touch with you if they want, for resources, even about this? What you said, we about to go on the detox. Yeah, maybe
Mm-hmm.
somebody you may
I'm
want
doing that.
information
And
about this detox.
mhm,
I said
yeah,
they may
yeah.
want information about the detox. You can get in touch with
That
her.
is so
I'm gonna
important.
go. I'm gonna go on the detox because I need a detox. Help
Hmm.
me, Lord. And
Hmm.
so you have any questions for um Dr. Nadine? Please get in touch with her by way of
Well, listen, so you can go to the website www.highbrotherskeeper.org. Go up there. If you put your name in, your email, you send it to me. I get back with you within 24 hours, or you can email me at www.highbrotherskeeper24@gmail.com. And also, I get back with you within one
thank you,
business day.
Prophet.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you, Prophet Lulu. She put it in the chat. Thank you so much. Listen, I do thank
Thank
you
you.
all for tuning in on today. Thank you again for being a guest. And again, I want to say if anyone wants to be a guest on Coco and Convos, please inbox me or give me a call at 757. Oh, yeah, let me hold my cup up. Mhm.
You-
757. It's cold now, so I can't see the 757
oh, can you see my
343
t-shirt? Can you see my t-shirt? I want them to see my t-shirt.
Yes, we got
Okay.
coffee and cocoa and coffee
Yeah.
t-shirts.
Oh,
Somebody
oh,
need to see it. Eh, But yeah, we
yeah.
got
Can
the
y'all
cocoa and
see it?
coffee
I think
t-shirts.
they're so cute. I'm gonna take a picture.
Yeah, take a picture.
Okay.
757-343-6754 or inbox me. I want to hear you. If you have a story that you deem is worth sharing, let's talk about it. Call me so we can get it out there. I wanted to create this platform to be a blessing to others. I believe. Thank you, daughter. I believe in being a blessing to others. I was telling, I think I've talked to my sister earlier, and I heard I wasn't trying to listen to TD Jakes when I was doing something, but I heard him say something that was so profound. He said, "You need to get around some people that don't have the same gifts and talents as you have. You need to get around some people that has, different gifts and different talents that you have, because if you are only around people who have the same gifts and talents that you have, then what's going to happen, they're going to start getting in competition with you. But if you have different gifts, they begin to build each other up. I said, Lord have mercy, that thing blessed me to death. That is so true. And I'm the type of person, I like to build people up. I like
Mhm.
to help people, that because I remember my win. So I didn't get to now by myself. I remember
Mm.
when somebody helped me, somebody gave me a chance, somebody took a gamble on me, somebody gave me a handout, somebody was there for me. And so I have a responsibility to pay it forward in any capacity that I can do it in. So if I have a platform and I can help someone, you know, that way, then I do. I just believe in paying it forward. And so we thank you for tuning in on tonight. This has been awesome. Y'all continue to pray. My throat is on fire, but I do believe God is a healer. I'm going to lay it down and I'm going to rest. We got to take care of us, because if we don't take care of us, then we won't be good to nobody else. And so we just thank God for you all. Again, if you want to be a guest, inbox me or call me at 757-343-6754. Um, Happy Good Friday. We know this is the day that our Lord and Savior was crucified. But the good news is he got up. Isn't that something? And I heard
Mhm.
God saying, you may have been knocked down, but you got back up. You may
That's
have
it.
been hit by a car, mm, but God brought you back. Mm. God is awesome, y'all. He's wonderful. Let me go, because I be done started preaching. Amen. And so join us next week. We're gonna have Feed from Pop Place here. I'm excited about that. Amen. We're
What?
gonna hear what this lady has to say. Amen. I'm telling you, y'all better have y'all seatbelts on. And so we're just looking to have a high time, and we thank you for spending your Friday evening with us on today. Have a good Sunday service, you all, Resurrection Sunday. And until next time, next week, thank you for joining us for another episode of Coco and Convos with Dr. Serena. Thank you, Dr. Nadine. Love you all.
Love you